What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Pokemon Showdown video. Second one of the week, even though this is coming out on Wednesday, and I said that we were going to do 5 this week. We're only going to do 3, so that way I have more time to not have to play Pokemon Showdown. But this team is a variation of the Ashton Cox team that got second place at the Orlando Regional. Just subbing out the Brute Bonnet for an Arcanine, which we'll talk about later. But I quite like this team, maybe because it uses Roaring Moon, which I think is a really neat Pokemon. But to start off the team, we have Tatsugiri. And this form of Tatsugiri is going to be based around speed, whereas the one that we had in the other video was around building attack. Also, this one has Terra Blast and Steel Terra instead of, I think it was Soak that we had on the last one. Steel Terra Blast is actually really good for pairing up into trying to beat Fluttermane, which was a little tough to deal with on this team before you included Steel Terra, so I think that's the main purpose of why they chose Steel Terra. But all the moves are just your standard fast Tatsugiri moves. The second Pokemon is one of the real kingpins of this team, which is pretty popular, honestly, which is Roaring Moon, which didn't see... It saw like a decent amount of play at the start of the series, but now that we're getting towards the end, Roaring Moon is definitely showing up more often than not. We got Roaring Moon with Acrobatics, Throat Chop, Tailwind, and Protect. It's a real support set, but it does have the opportunity to use Booster Energy, get that attack buff, and then you get double damage Acrobatics because you no longer have an item. And that Flying Terra makes your Acrobatics do even more. So it's a pretty good lead into the Armourouge and DD size spam, as well as doing a lot of damage to basically everything in the format right now. Third on the list, we have Dondozo. Dondozo is just going to be pairing up with Tatsugiri and doing very similar things to what most Dondozo normally do. It's just Wave Crash, Earthquake, Substitute, and Rest. And this one has a Chesto Berry so that we can Chesto Resto whenever we need to get our health back, and also ignore Spore at least once. And we have the Steel Terra mainly just for dodging Clear Smogs that might come out from random Pokemon, but also Steel Terra is a very good defensive type, so if you're going to be stat boosting with Dondozo and Tatsugiri, Steel Terra is a pretty good option. Next we have an Iron Hands, which is the classic Assault Vest set. It's got the moves Fake Out, Close Combat, Thunder Punch, and Volt Switch. Sometimes you run Wild Charge. Wild Charge is for specific KOs that I don't know off the top of my head, but Thunder Punch is good. And you also have the Volt Switch that makes it so that you can slow leave the battle. Maybe bring in Tatsugiri at the end of the turn after you just bring in Dondozo in the first bit of the turn. And then you can make the combination pretty seamlessly after taking a hit with Iron Hands here. And it's just so especially tanky, and you have Grass Terra just for dodging the sleeps. Like, that's pretty much it. You just don't want to get sleeped. Also, you can ignore Rage Powder, but fifth on the list, we have Goldango. I think this is my first time having a Goldango on a team, but obviously Goldango is one of the strongest Pokemon to come out of this generation that's not like a Legendary or Paradoxmon. With the ability Good as Gold, you just ignore all status moves, except for a few things like Haze and stuff, but you ignore all status moves, and Make It Rain is super powerful. Shadow Ball, Steel Beam, Thunderbolt. This set is really designed to output as much damage as soon as possible. And while you're not super defensive, you're putting out, I mean, a lot of damage. Hopefully, Roaring Moon sets up your Tailwind, and then you could just sweep through everything that comes your way. And then last on the list would have been Brute Bonnet, which was what Ashton Cox used in his second place finish. I decided to sub in Arcanine instead, just because it fits with my playstyle a little bit better. But on this Arcanine, we have Intimidate, Will-O-Wisp, which is designed to greatly hinder physical attackers, and then we also have Snarl, which is designed to hinder the special attackers, and we also have Flare Blitz for if we want to go for the offensive option, and we have Terra Dark in case we need to do more damage on our Snarls, and going Terra Dark also makes us immune to Psychic-type moves and various other things, which is pretty decent Terra on Arcanine. We have Citrus Berry to increase our sustainability a little bit, and yeah, that's generally about everything. Okay, I remember to switch screens this time. Last video I did not remember to switch screens into the bigger screen, so everything was zoomed in. I don't think anybody noticed that. So we have a very interesting Garganacl team here. I haven't had to fight a Garganacl team in a while, and that scares me. I think our best options is to start with old Arcanine kind of scares me, leading us Steve. Let's let's just start with Dondozo Arcanine, and then we'll keep Tatsugiri and Johnny Cash in the back. Okay, they start with Amoonguss and Arcanine, which is a decent start for us. If they burn or spore the Dondozo, we don't really care about that, so we can pretty freely Wave Crash the Arcanine slot and then Flare Blitz into the Amoonguss and see what they do. We might see a Terra here. Okay, the Will-O-Wisp and Arcanine Will-O-Wisp. Flare Blitz does not do over half to Amoonguss, and it's Rocky Helmet. Okay. Wave Crash does a bit. Spore goes into the Arcanine. It's not a great turn, but not terrible. They don't really have anything to damage us right now, so I think I'm going to just set up a substitute. And we can maybe see about switching in Tatsugiri in a bit, but right now I kind of want Arcanine to wake up. So I'll just keep them in this turn and see what happens. Okay, they go into Garganacl. Arcanine goes for close combat, but now it's had defense drop. That procs our Citrus Berry, which is good. And Dondozo gets to go for substitute. So now they can't Salt Cure with Garganacl, I don't think, through sub, which is great. We could switch in and go for the half damage Earthquake, but I'm not sure how much that would really do for us. Just plugging damage into the Arcanine might honestly be worth it. And maybe let's see about waking up and using Protect. Okay, they go Among Us, which is not great because we Wave Crashed. Okay, they Salt Cure Arcanine. It's gonna hurt a bit. Arcanine's still asleep. Let's go for the rest. And then Flare Blitz into Amoonguss. They might switch back in Arcanine here, actually. There's a pretty good chance that they just switch in Arcanine. I'll just take the risk. Okay, Amoonguss goes for Protect. Arcanine is still asleep, but that didn't change anything. We wake up now, we're at full health. Goes for Salt Cure, that finishes off Arcanine, that's fine. Let's bring in Johnny Cash now. And they might defensively Terra and then Salt Cure Johnny Cash. I think that's what we want them to do. So I'm going to switch into Tatsugiri and let's Terra Steel, make it rain. We'll see if they Wide Guard here. They might. Okay, they Terra Watered. But I think that... I don't know why I skipped the turn. We should have just watched it happen. The Make It Rain did 100% of the High Dragon's health. Okay, they bring back in Arcanine now. So we could Muddy Water and then... Yeah, I'm mainly afraid of them just doubling the Goldango slot here. They don't really have a way to stop that, and if I swap in Dondozo, then Tatsugiri just doesn't get to move this turn. But their Pokemon that they have left are Arcanine and Amoonguss. And Amoonguss is going to keep getting health. Let's Muddy Water Make It Rain. Okay, we get the accuracy drop. It's kind of big. Make It Rain does some damage into the Garganacl. Garganacl goes for Recover. Okay. Now we're getting... Oh, they already Salt Cured us. I wasn't paying attention. We're going to do the same thing now, but with Dondozo. We're just going to swap in Dondozo this turn. Okay, they do take the Flare Blitz this turn. And the Salt Cure, which misses Tatsugiri, because that's the slot that they targeted into. So now we can just sub... Right? And then they're going to Salt Cure, but the Salt Cure doesn't actually Salt Cure. So now we're pretty free. There should be switching in Amoonguss, but now we need to start dealing damage. So let's go for Earthquake. Okay, close combat Arcanine. The Earthquake probably picks up the KO here now, right? I mean, yeah, that does enough damage to Arcanine, so Arcanine's not going to be coming back in and lowering our stats anymore, which is super great. I think that they were hoping that they could break sub there so that they could get the Salt Cure off, but evidently that's not what happened. So Amoonguss and Garganacl are going to be on the field for the rest of the time now. Tatsugiri is locked into Muddy Water for the rest of the game too, which is kind of sucky. I mean, I guess there's no point in Wave Crashing. We're just gonna have to try and do as much damage to Amoonguss as we can get. Pollen Puffing, trying to break the sub. Yeah, I can just keep resetting back up the sub, because Amoonguss shouldn't have a way to heal itself. So as long as I can Earthquake it 2 more times before they break my sub a bunch of times, it should be good. Yeah, they even take a Protect turn here, which is pretty nice. We're just going to go for the Earthquake again. Amoonguss is taking more damage. Salt Cure. Okay, Amoonguss might Protect here. but maybe not. Oh, okay, the opponent forfeits. So basically what happens there is they don't break the sub with Salt Cure. We eventually Earthquake KO the Amoonguss. Maybe Garganacl gets to Salt Cure, but we can just stall the Garganacl for a while. And our Johnny Cash has Choice Specs Thunderbolt for their Garganacl. And they can also have the chance of missing with their accuracy drop. So that was a good game. I think we won that pretty cleanly there. Okay, here we have an interesting Talon Tusk team, but they also have Ceruledge, which I think has become more popular just because you can Shadow Sneak Fluttermane and stuff. I'm not all sure what I want to lead into this. Arcanine seems good, but getting outled by Sand or Bundle definitely is not good. I think it's fine if we lead Steve and Iron Hands, and then Dondozo Tatsugiri in the back. We'll see what happens. Okay, lead Ceruledge and Talonflame. So the best thing that we can do here, I think, is to... The Ceruledge might Grass Terra, but then... Do I want to Throat Chop the Ceruledge to try to kill it, or do I want to Acrobatics the Ceruledge to try to kill it? Because if it's Grass, then I Acrobatics. If not, then I Throat Chop. Let's just go for the Throat Chop, Fake Out into Talonflame. Okay, Talonflame's Covert Cloak. They get the Will-O-Wisp there, which kind of stinks. But now we should be... No, we're not guaranteed to be faster than Talonflame. Let's just Throat Shot this Ceruledge and then Thunder Punch the Talonflame. And see if anything goes wrong. Okay, they do Grass Terra. Bitter Blade is resisted, so it doesn't do too much. Throat Chop does a lot of damage. Thunder Punch does a lot of damage. Now I think... I could just Protect and then Thunder Punch the Talonflame, because they might Protect and Will-O-Wisp. They do Will-O-Wisp, but they decide to attack with something. They Bitter Blade. Okay, they get back some of their health, that's fine. We Thunder Punch the Talonflame, we burn a turn of Tailwind. Iron Hand still gets to sit on the field. Now Bundle is coming in, and Bundle is bad for us. Let's just go for the Acrobatics, and then Close Combat the Iron Bundle. Okay, they Icy Wind, so they're not getting both KOs this turn. What are they getting? Okay, they critical hit my punch. I don't think that mattered. But we do get to Acrobatics. There's Ceruledge, which takes down their Terrestrial Pokemon. And now the floor is pretty free for Dondozo to come in. Tailwind is going to run out next turn. They are still going to be faster than us, so they could Headlong Rush. And Freeze Strike Headlong Rush covers both Dondozo Terra here. So I wonder if it would be better to Tailwind and rest, try and rest off any damage that they do to us. I don't know if we live the Headlong Rush Freeze Strike combo, because if we don't, then we lose. Let's do the rest here. Okay, Freeze Strike. Oh, Freeze Strike does a lot of damage. Okay, Freeze Strike Close Combat into that slot, but no, Acrobatics. Acrobatics takes down the Great Tusk. And this is going to come down into what the bundle decides to do. We're at the Terra Steel here, because that's honestly our best option. Terra Steel, Draco. Ooh, no, we can't Icy Wind. Icy Wind is done. Let's just Terra Steel Draco Meteor. And we win. Because our Choice Scarf is faster than the bundle. Sweet, sweet. Yeah, that was an okay ending. We kind of faked them out with Dondozo there, which helped us out a lot. It was more me deciding that Dondozo would live the freeze dry. Thankfully it did. Good job, Dondozo. Okay, here we have a very interesting team with a lot of pits, but also Gastrodon. So Gastrodon would normally stop me from bringing water types, but I kind of want to bring two of them. Let's start with Roaring Moon and Iron Hands, and then have something in the back that can deal with Gastrodon. I guess that would be Johnny Cash, and just not locking Tatsugiri into muddy water at any point seems pretty good. Then again, Arcanine to lower... You know, we haven't got to use Arcanine a lot yet. So let's go ahead and let's try Arcanine. Okay, so it's perfectly plausible that Grimmsnarl has Fake Out here, so I'm gonna Fake Out. I really don't feel like getting burned on either Pokemon, but I'm gonna Volt Switch the Talonflame here. Just in case they decide to Fake Out burn. Okay, they reflect and they will-o-wisp my hands, which is not great. This allows me to go into Arcanine, though. Let's just go ahead and let's Terrifying Tailwind, and then let's burn their Grimmsnarl. Okay, they decided to switch in Gastrodon, which is a good turn for us. We get to will-o-wisp their Grimmsnarl. They go for Spirit Break. That's what we wanted to happen. Spirit Break does basically no damage. Now we can really start laying into the Gastrodon here. Or the Gastrodon slot, at least. Okay, they switch back into Talonflame. We do about half to the Gastrodon, which is nice. Oh, it's Covert Cloak Gastrodon. Okay, this must be a Gastrodon that's decided, or that's designed to beat Garganacl endgames. What do we do now? Do I Flare Blitz? No, I can't Flare Blitz the Talonflame and hope that picks up the KO. We have the Tailwind up and they don't, so we are faster. So I think our safest thing is just to Acrobatics the Talonflame and then Protect with Arcanine. Okay, that picks up that KO. Gastrodon goes for cover, but that does get rid of one of their fastest Pokemon, and they can only have one of these three in the back. You can deal with Grimmsnarl, because Grimmsnarl is burned. Grimmsnarl takes the field again. Let's just Acrobatics, and... yeah, let's just Flare Blitz for a little bit of chip that we get off of that. Flare Blitz does a bit. Spirit Break's gonna hurt a bit. Muddy Water is not going to pick up the KO on either Pokemon. We got a Citrus Berry, we get Talon again. So this Grimmsnarl, did they agree to team sheets? They did agree to team sheets. Does their Grimmsnarl have... okay, their Grimmsnarl does not have Thunder Wave. They could protect... can they protect with Gastrodon? Yeah, they could protect with Gastrodon this turn. Should be very smart of them. I think the safest move is to protect Flare Blitz the Grimmsnarl. Because, yeah, Gastrodon protects. Grimmsnarl is going to try to get a bit of chip. We crit the Grimmsnarl, which does not actually KO us. We have a little bit of health hiding behind that protect. But now we're in a pretty good spot just to do this and this. Yeah, we can Acrobatics to that. So we would be trading KOs last turn if we hadn't done what we did. But thankfully we still get to keep our Flying Roaring Moon going into whatever their last Pokemon is. And it is Fluttermane. Fluttermane's got that special attack. They very easily just Dazzling Gleam here. And that ruins my entire day. Which is probably what's going to happen. I don't think I can stop that. Okay, they Terra Rock. They're not faster than Roaring Moon. Wait, what are they running? I mean, we get the Snarl off, which is good. That almost kills. And now that they're Terra Rock, we can just go into Iron Hands and then fake out and Snarl again. And that's gonna end the game. Okay, strange Fluttermane set. I was not looking at that. I mean, they could have protected, but there's not much that they could have done after that. Strange that they didn't make their Fluttermane faster than Roaring Moons, though. I feel like that's kind of necessary. Okay, we have one last team here. It is a Salazzle team, and it's also got Arboliva on it, which is very interesting. I'm trying to think whether or not they might be Scarf Ape for that final Gambit. What's Salazzle's speed? Okay, Salazzle's not faster than Moon. And then not much on their team is. Let's just lead Roaring Moon Iron Hands, and then we'll keep Johnny Cash and just regular Dondozo. Does regular Dondozo do as much for me as I think it does? I think that answer is no. No, we'll keep Arcanine. Arcanine Flare Blitz latches up into a lot of things here. As long as we don't intimidate Defiant the Annihilate. Okay, so what they've got now makes me think that they're Fast Ape, and that they want to do something crazy with Salazzle. So it depends what slot they target into. I'm just going to Tailwind fake out the Salazzle. And then whatever happens, happens. Okay, the Arcanine bulks up. That's fine with me. We could try to double that slot. Do I need the Terra for anything else? Terra Steel? No, not really. Terra Dark? Nah, let's just do it. Let's just try to kill this thing. Okay, they Terra Fire. We might not KO now. Okay, we don't KO now. That's bad. They woke up again. Okay, so how much did that... we have to Acrobatics in that slot if we want to kill it. And then... can we safely just Thunder Punch into the Salazzle. Sylveon comes out, and they protect. I'm okay with Sylveon killing my Sidemon. They protected, so we're just gonna remove all their stat boost if they don't decide to protect. Might switch, which would kind of stink, but I think Iron Hands could take the Hyper Voice. Okay, the Acrobatics just KOs the Annihilate. Gets really a lot of stats. This is gonna kind of hurt, but we're Assault Vest. That's Throat Spray. Alright, so now where are we at? We're back to Salazzle. We just Acrobatics the Salazzle to get rid of it. We have Johnny Cash in the back to deal with the Sylveon, so I'm not too worried about it. Let's Volt Switch to Sylveon, though. Oh, they fake out. That's a good move. That's a good move. Johnny Cash. Okay, Hyper Voice does not pick up the Roaring Moon KO. We're pretty free, just Acrobatics, and we should... Oh, we're not guaranteed faster than Sylveon. Hold on. Acrobatics, just in case this has Protect, we'll do that. And then make it rain. Or No, they already teared the ape, so they can't block that. Okay, our Golden Go is faster than Sylveon. Didn't want to gamble it super hard there. I was okay with losing our Roaring Moon, but now it's just their last Pokemon versus our last Pokemon. And it is Arboliva, who does not like anything that we're about to throw at it. Because Acrobatics picks up the KO. I don't think that crit mattered, let's be honest here. We're Attack Acrobatics Roaring Moon, but that is going to be a GG. Alright, so yeah, this team is really... I mean, obviously, I didn't build it. Ashton Cox built it. But it is definitely one of my favorite Series 2 teams to use. Just because I really like Iron Hands in general. It'll probably be in the next video, too. Where I go over the next team that I was using for a bit. But, yeah, I mean, this team is really nice. Does a lot of really nice things, too. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, maybe consider leaving a like on the video. And even consider subscribing, because both of those things would help me out an absolute ton. And, yeah, we'll have another Pokemon Showdown video on Friday, where it's probably going to be a team that's, like, kind of meta-relevant. Might be Parasong, I don't know. We might have a Parasong video later this month that's not this week. You know, I need to stop making promises, honestly. I made a lot of promises this week. Didn't keep them. Subscribe. Thank you!